Hello and welcome, dear students, to this course. Today we are going to talk about teaching methodology of physics, and the course is written by Kalyanova Mikhail. And today the learning objective of this course is to talk about researches, methodology of pedagogical studies, know about new learning technologies, learn how to organize teamworks, online trainings, and so let's get started. So, introduction. The training course consists of two parts. So in the first part, there are general questions of teaching technique. Studying the general questions of teaching physics, you'll get acquainted with the purposes of training in physics, with the content and structure of physics course, with various methods and tutorials of physics. So in the second part, there are some particular questions by consideration of these questions in teaching physics. There are the scientific and methodological analysis of structure and contents of each section of a school physics course that have been given. So let's talk about researches. There are a lot of physical researches, and researches are the methodology of teaching physical researches, basically solutions of such exact problems at school, is as determining a size and content of training materials studied at each stage of physics, determining a systematization of exposition of training materials. The sequence of training materials must be increased from easiest to difficult. Also, we have to show the ways of teachers' different methodical teaching and optimal methods of easy familiarization of training materials by students. Moreover, we have to determine the required logistical base of teaching physics, so as students can learn program materials. Furthermore, we have to make a methodology of conducting an organization of extracurricular works that can afford teaching physics in depth. We also have to give an orientation to educational work that conducts in the process of teaching physics at school. And lastly, we have to form an experimental skills and knowledge of students. So methodology of teaching physics is shown in this timeline. We use philosophy, logics, technical sciences, physics, psychology, and pedagogy. So that was researchers part. So now let's talk about methodology of pedagogical study. So methodology is a system of methods and principles of organization and construction of theoretical and practical actions. It's a doctrine about scientific method of cognition, a set of used methods in specific science. So methodology is divided into four levels. In first level, it's psychological. Second level is general scientific. Third one is a certain scientific level, and the last one is technological level. So levels of methodology or structure of scientific pedagogical are shown below. For example, for philosophical level of methodology is given a structure that researching level, researching topic, researching shape, and researching object. And at a general scientific level of methodology, we have to choose a methodology as a first concept and choose researching methods. On the certain scientific level, we have to construct researching forecast, and the last we have to analyze a research result, discuss and edit research result on a technological level of methodology. So those were the methodology. That was a methodology of pedagogical study. Now let's talk about new learning technologies. As you can see on this map, there are a lot of new types of learning methods around the world that are happening. For example, action research, lesson studies, STEM, trees, and STEAM. There are a bunch of other learning methods appearing year by year, but those are now commonly used around the world in different parts of our planet, including United States, Russia, Japan, China, most of the countries in Europe, and even in Middle East. So let's talk about new learning technologies. This approach was originated in Japan in 70s of 19th century, ahead of the Western approach by about 70 years. Research in action. That's called research in action. Today in East Asia, the lesson study is used in addition to Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, and China. This approach is applied in the same way in Western countries, including United States, United Kingdom, Sweden, and Canada. STEM was first proposed by the American bacteriologist Robert Colwell in the 1990s, but has been actively used since 2000s years. In 1946, Soviet engineer, scientist, and science fiction writer Henrik Schuler began to study the techniques most often used by inventors. There were about 40 such techniques, and all of them, together with the algorithm for solving inventive problems that is called ARIZ, formed the basis of trees. So those were the new learning technologies. Now let's talk about teamwork. So the masterminds of this topic are Viktor Fyodorovich Shalatov, who was a Soviet, Russian, and Ukrainian educator innovator, and is people's teacher of the United USSR. He was also honored teacher of the Ukrainian SSR, honorary doctor of the Academy of Pedagogical Sciences in Ukraine. And there was also Ashul Genrikh Saulovich, who is the author of the theory of inventive problem solving. That's also called trees. We told about it before. So he was a Soviet science fiction writer and inventor. There is also Toshiya Chibu, who was a member of the International Association's research lesson based in Japan. He's a master of education. There is also Bloom Benjamin, American psychologist. He created Bloom's taxonomy. There is also Tom Tzu, who is an expert and consultant for teacher development in science education, the organization and content of student assessment systems in physics, engineering, and technology, as well as multiple patents. He also has some patents and 12 STEM textbooks. So those were the masterminds. So let's talk about online training. As you know, due to current unprecedented situation around the world, the online training became very popular worldwide. You probably know that we are using Zoom as well as Microsoft Teams and other social media and conferencing software, as well as online educational platforms such as Stepik, Coursera, Udemy, and similar to this. We are using other types of social media like Facebook, Instagram, Contact, WhatsApp, and other applications to organize our online training. So those were the main applications used on online training. So thank you for your attention. It was a presentation by Umut Kurkalyazanova.